Every year I get questions about how exactly do we go about adding courses to the concurrent enrollment master list. In other words, how can an academic department offer one of their courses through concurrent enrollment? In this video, we're going to explain that process. The first thing that you have to understand, though, is that for a concurrent enrollment class to exist, because a student is getting both high school credit and college credit, there has to be a college class, an existing college class, and an existing high school class whose curriculum aligns at least 90% if it's a general education course. If it's a CTE course or an elective course, it has to align at least 80%. So today, we're going to go through the process of how we do that alignment and what this process is for getting a course approved on the concurrent master list. So the first thing that we need to do is identify those courses that could potentially match. And that can be done in working with the concurrent enrollment director, who will work with the high school and the academic department to see if they can identify a course. Once that course or those courses are identified, then we need to go through the process of proving to the state office that these courses do indeed align. So how do we do that? The first thing that we need to do is outline that match. And in order to do that, the concurrent enrollment director will begin by filling out the higher ed, public ed curriculum match form, at least the left-hand column. So in this match form, on the left-hand column, we have a list of the high school strands and standards. Now, high school strands and standards, they're basically equivalent to the Salt Lake Community College course curriculum outline. So they just call it strands and standards. We call them learning outcomes or learning objectives. Let me just show you an example here really quick of a course that we are working on aligning. So this is the diesel engines course, which we're attempting to align to DST 1065 here at the college. So you can see here on their strands and standards, their course curriculum outline, there's a description of the course, and then we have a list of all of the strands and standards. The strands are sort of the big learning outcomes, and then the standards sort of break it down and give you more detail about what exactly is covered in that particular strand. So the concurrent director will come over to this form and fill out, basically copy and paste from the high school strands and standards, each strand and their standards in each of these rows. So you can see in the first row here in the left-hand column, we've got strand 1 with all of its standards listed. A little farther down, we've got strand 2 in the next row with its standards, and then we'll continue on down strand 3, 4, 5, etc. So once this left column has been completed, the concurrent director will then send this form to the SLCC academic department representative, which could be a faculty member, a coordinator, or the associate dean, who will then describe here in the right-hand column exactly how the equivalent SLCC course, so in this case, we're working on Diesel 1065, how it aligns to each of these strands and its accompanying standards. So read through this, and then over here say, this is what we do at Salt Lake Community College in the Diesel 1065 course. That's sort of a match to what is described here. So however much information you want to include there, some academic departments, it only requires a paragraph. Sometimes it may require a little bit more. Now, you don't necessarily have to go through and describe each standard and each bullet point, how we align. A simple paragraph or a couple of paragraphs that just sort of address it overall is sufficient. And if for some reason it doesn't align, then just make a note here that that our curriculum does not align to strand number 1. In strands 2 through 11, maybe there's a better alignment, or a couple of them, maybe there is no alignment, and most of them there is. As long as it's the 80% or 90% match, then we are good. So the department will go ahead and outline that here in this template. Now, once that's done, the next thing that we need to do is fill out the alignment form. And in order to do that, we're going to jump back over here to our browser, and we're going to come to the Adding New CE Courses page. Now, you should have received a link for this from the director. If not, you can go to Concurrent Enrollment. You can come down here in Academic Departments, and then over here on the left-hand side, at the very bottom is Adding New CE Courses, and here you are at this page. Down at the bottom is a link to complete the alignment form. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to take us to the alignment form. Now this is a form that the concurrent director then uses later to fill out the actual form that USBE has that only the director has access to, but this gives the director all of the information that the director needs in order to fill that form out. So you're going to go through here, you're going to add the college's course number, there's an example of it, the course name, so the title of the course, how many credit hours students get when they complete this course, the general education category, unless it's not a gen ed course, you can check that. If it's multiple, you can check multiple. What degree does this class lead to? It could lead to multiple. Maybe this class counts for the certificate of proficiency and an associate of applied science. So you check those boxes, and then you can basically copy and paste from the CCO and the syllabus. So if I jump back over to Word, I've opened up for the diesel class. I've got the DST 1065 CCO. So here we've got the course description. So I can copy and paste this. This is the description that would appear in the catalog. And then we'll come back over here and just paste it right there. Next, we've got prerequisites or co-requisites. If there are any, then you can include those. And if not, then you don't need to worry about it. Any additional enrollment conditions? Are there certain things that students have to do before they participate in this course? So maybe there's a CTE course that the students must be 18 years old by the time they complete it in order to receive credit. So you'd want to mention that here. Then you're going to grab the course learning outcomes, which you can grab again from the CCO, or they may also be included. Many departments will include in the syllabus. They will have a list of the learning outcomes or the learning objectives. So you'll grab those, paste them right here. A list of all of the assessments. How are students assessed in this course? Is it through quizzes, assignments, attendance? Like, what are the students assessed on, and what percentage of their final grade is based on those assessments? So just a simple list of the assessments that are required for the course. Next, a course calendar, if you have that, of week by week, day by day, month by month, however you outline that schedule or calendar, you'll list that here. And then any additional materials that describe the scope and the depth of the course. Once you've filled out that information from the syllabus and CCO, now you're simply going to copy and paste from this form over here that you have already filled out, so the curriculum match form. So you'll just copy everything from the right-hand column that you've added. And the reason why we give you this form in the first place is you may say, well, why don't I just type it in here? Well, because sometimes it takes a while to type this out, and you don't want to have to do that in a form and then later find out the form didn't actually save because you took so long. So you can type your information here, your response, copy it, come over here. How does after reading through the high school curriculum, strand 1, which you read right here, and its accompanying standards, please describe how the SLCC curriculum aligns to that strand and its standards if it does not make note of that. So we copy that, paste it here, we go on to strand 2, paste, and we continue down until we've finished all of the strands. Now, right here on this form, we go to strand 16. If there's only 7 strands, then you just stop there, leave all these blank, and then you go ahead and submit it when you're done. Now, once you've finished that, that is all you have to do. At that point, the concurrent enrollment director will then take that information and input it into the state's form, and then we just sit back and we wait for the specialist at the Utah State Board of Education to review it and make their final decision, whether or not they feel like it is a 90 or an 80% match. And if they determine that it is, then the following fall semester, so if it's right now, if it's November 2021, then beginning fall of 2022, this course can be offered through concurrent enrollment. And that is how we go about doing the new concurrent enrollment course creation process.